and welcome to Chrissy's Paradise. I'm Kristen. In today's video, we are going to make crayons together. These large alphabet crayons. I know that some people sell these crayons, but you can make them very cheap, and I'm going to show you what you need and how to make them. I have a basket of my letter crayons right here, and these make really fun gifts, but they're also just perfect for children that love to color, love to learn about letters, and it really helps with letter recognition. It's perfect for preschoolers, and you can use them for helping to spell out kids' names or simple words, and it's just something fun that you can also color with after. What child would not like their name made of crayons? First, you will need alphabet molds. These silicone molds I got on Amazon. I will leave my Amazon affiliate link below for these if you're interested in getting a set. I actually have 2 sets of these alphabet molds because when making kids' names, it's just easier when you have more than one letter. You will also need a heat source. I like to use a heat gun. You can also use a hair dryer if it gets hot enough, and you can also just heat over the stove. But I just like the heat gun because it puts out a lot of heat and you can direct it where it's going. And I personally like to work at the table. Measuring cups. My husband made little spouts. It's just a metal measuring cup. I obviously have smaller ones and larger ones. As you can see, they have toothpicks. Toothpicks also come in handy because when you're melting the wax, the toothpick lets you stir it so you make sure that it is liquid and it is melting evenly. I got enough measuring cups so I can use all of the colors. Another item I use is a razor blade. You can also just use a knife or a pair of scissors. I use the razor blade to cut the paper off of the crayon. There are other ways I have heard that you could just soak the crayons in hot water and the water makes the paper wrapper expand and kind of come off of crayon, but you need to make sure that you dry the crayons completely before you start melting them. Otherwise there will be water stuck in it and it could cause an air bubble, and you don't want an air bubble when you are making your crayons. Obviously crayons, I already have some of them sorted in little baggies. It is also a good idea to have baby wipes or paper towels on hand in case you have a spill and you can quickly wipe up the wet wax. When it does dry on the table, it is also easy to get off with a magic eraser. We are going to take a crayon. It can be broken, it can be full length. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to break them anyway. You take the razor and you just cut the paper like that, and it comes off very easily. I like to break my pieces smaller because smaller pieces melt quicker. We'll also do a little bit darker orange. Let's add this. It's kind of an orangey red color. Let's add that to it. I like this method because you can melt any shade you want and they will all mix together and you will end up with a cool, fun color orange. That looks like a good amount. I'm going to show you how we melt it now. This is how I like to set up my heat gun, and then I will keep the measuring cup over and move it around the heat source while I use my toothpick to stir it to help all melt it down to one color, and then I will show it to you when it's all melted. Now that the crayon is melted, you can see that, I'm going to make an orange Z and pour it in my mold very carefully. And I fill it up pretty high. If there's little mess, it's really easy to just wipe it up while it's still wet. You can do this to make sure there's no air bubbles. I'm going to carefully move it and make a different letter. I'm just gonna mix it around to make sure there's no air bubbles. There is an air bubble in my Z, so I will show you how we fix that. The way to fix an air bubble, I don't know if you can see there's a little hole in the Z. I'm just going to take the heat gun, put it on, and put it over the Z until it melts down a little bit. And if I need more, I will melt more orange and pour it. But let's just see how it goes with melting it in the mold. That looks good. We'll keep an eye on it and see how it does in a little bit. Now that the crayon wax has been poured into each mold, all that's left is to wait for the crayons to harden. Then we check to make sure they look good and there's no air bubbles, and then we pop them out. It is the next day and we are going to check out how our crayons are looking in the molds and take them out. So the A and the D look really good. If you can see, the K has kind of caved in a little in the middle, and the Z also looks really good. So let's start popping them out of the molds. When it's time to pop them out, you just need to be very gentle because sometimes they can break. So let's start with the Z. So I just kind of start to pull around without taking the crayon yet, like on all the sides, just to detach the mold from the crayon. And when I feel like it's mostly loose, I'm going to push on the bottom with these two fingers and use my thumbs to kind of peel it, and slowly and carefully push it up. This one area is still a little like this, and then just gently take it out, just like that. And we have an orange Z crayon. When the letters have holes in the middle, you're just gonna be, again, gentle and careful and just do it very slowly. Ta-da! There we go. I hope you enjoyed my video on how to make solid color crayons. Next time I'm going to show you how to make marble tie-dye crayons. That way is done completely different. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone!